Hi, everyone. My name is Juan Garcia, and I am a psychology major who is currently involved in research for Professor Robin's Personality, Self, and Emotion Lab here at UC Davis. In this lab, we have dedicated the past 3 quarters to looking into the development of shyness from late childhood to adolescence. In particular, the research question that fascinated me is how the presence of anxiety and depression symptoms at age 10 affected the trajectory of one's shyness from the ages of 10 to 16. Shyness can be defined as a tendency to feel awkward, worried, or tense during social encounters. And this especially occurs when these shy individuals encounter unfamiliar people. As a psychological concept, it has been researched continuously, but there's not much research in POC populations, specifically how it can affect young people as they enter a new environment, like we continuously see in Mexican populations as well as others. The changing of environments can certainly be an anxiety-inducing experience for the youth. Trying to fit in with their peers and developing connections can be difficult and sometimes lead to depressive mindsets if they fail to assimilate. This creates a great need for more research to be done on shyness and how it affects these types of populations and how shyness develops as time goes on. An example of how shyness can affect someone can be seen in the image on the left of the child hugging a person's leg. When children are exhibiting shyness, it can oftentimes be the case that they seek out comfort from parents, guardians, or really anyone that provides a safe space in their minds. Shyness can be seen as a sort of barrier for socially interacting with others and can hinder the way in which people reach out for interactions. To introduce some of what the literature has looked into regarding these topics, previous studies have found that anxiety and depression symptoms are oftentimes concurrently correlated with one's shyness level. In 2009, Merberg conducted a study with over 250 Norwegian students and found a significant positive association between depression symptoms and shyness for the adolescents, specifically aged 14 to 16. More research like this is needed because Mexican origin youth are one of the most likely to see changes in their environments, as some parents may want their kids to grow up in an entirely different country, such as the US. We predicted that the presence of anxiety and depression symptoms at age 10 will be associated with higher levels of initial shyness at age 10 and increases in shyness from age 10 to 16. For our methods, we are using the data from the California Families Project, which is a longitudinal study of 674 Mexican origin youth and their parents. We measure shyness via self-report and mother reports when the youth were 10, 12, 14, and 16 years old, using 4 items from the early adolescent temperament questionnaire. We assess symptoms for anxiety and depression through the 4th edition of the Diagnostic Interview Schedule for Children. And lastly, for the data analysis, we are using a latent growth curve model for shyness from age 10 to 16. We include symptoms of anxiety and depression at age 10 as time-invariant predictors of the intercept and the slope of the trajectory. For our results, we first depicted the average developmental trajectory of shyness as seen in Figure 1. On the x-axis, we have age as one of the variables, and we looked at how the trajectory of shyness developed at ages 10, 12, 14, and 16. On the y-axis, we have shyness scores. So the figure depicts individual shyness trajectories as black lines and the average shyness trajectory as a thick blue line. As you can see, on average, shyness decreases from ages 10 to 16. To answer our primary research question, we see that the presence of both anxiety and depression symptoms predict that youth will have higher initial levels of shyness at age 10. We also see that anxiety symptoms predict a smaller decrease in shyness with age, but we do not see that same effect with depression symptoms. In conclusion, we see that shyness decreases on average from the ages of 10 to 16. We see that the presence of anxiety as well as depression symptoms influences the initial levels of shyness that Mexican origin youth have at age 10. We see that the presence of anxiety symptoms influences how shyness decreases from ages 10 to 16, but we do not see that same effect with depression symptoms. Overall, we need to gather more data on this topic as this is still a population that is not looked into as deeply in the literature. So thank you for watching this presentation and have a great day.